Welcome back. Yahoo Finance's Jared Blikre is standing by for us down at the New York Stock Exchange. Jared, not a good start to the session here for Netflix, to say the very least.
No, it's not, and we'll take a look at that stock in a second, have some market cap stats on them. But first, I'm looking at the sector action today. Staples in the lead. It's up 1% on the Wi-Fi Interactive. Industrials coming in second, then utilities, tech, financials, and materials. That rounds out the top row. To the downside, communication services, guess who is in there? That, of course, would be Netflix. That's the only sector in the red, down 2.5%. And when we look at the NASDAQ 100 components, we have some standouts here. We got Facebook down about over 2.5%, but let's get to Netflix, because that stock right now down 30%. That should be, I believe, it's its worst day ever. You can see year to date, this isn't even over that long of a period, basically a quarter and a half a month, it is down 60%. Now, if you remember 3 months ago, they also had a negative earnings reaction. Now, they were down $50 billion in market cap that one day. My calculations at 240, we are quickly approaching that number again. So we could have 2 quarters in a row where Netflix loses that amount of money, which is just astonishing, $50 billion in one day. Added up, that's $100 billion. So enough dwelling about Netflix. I do want to take a look at some of our leaders here. And it looks like the SOX, that is the Philly Chip Index, that is the leader for the second day in a row, along with home builders. Those two were the leaders yesterday, so continuation on that front.
Let's take a look at some other moves and other assets. We were taking a look at the move in yields earlier. It seems like maybe they're pausing today. Is there a view that maybe the move there and in the dollars is overdone?
Yes, I mean, if we go back to the Wi-Fi Interactive and we look at the technical pattern that Brian Chung astutely identified as a Mount Kilimanjaro, this is a year-to-date look. Now, I'm going to dial this back to a 3-year look so we can see what has happened from the pandemic and forward. So this goes back to 2019, pre-pandemic. We are above levels that we've seen in 3 years, but I just want to point out the technical action here. We are so overextended to the upside. We have reached the upper end of this trend channel, probably due for at least a pause in consolidation, and that would give stocks a little bit of a respite here. Also want to track the US dollar because that is having a big reversal day. Let me just dial this down to a year-to-date chart, and you can see that big red candle in the upper right. That also has been pressuring certain sectors, so a little bit of relief there today in the US dollar, guys.
Thank you, Jared.